little while ago, I acquired a Winchester Model 1873 lever-action rifle, an original one, and it is chambered in 4440 or 44 Winchester centerfire, whatever you would like to call it. Now, I started off using some soft lead 200 grain bullets, and I did some videos on it where I was trying the original service load, as it were, of 40 grains of 3F with a 200 grain bullet, and I really struggled with it. It sprayed those things all over the target. I couldn't hit anything. They were fast, and as much as I like it to be fast, doesn't matter because I couldn't hit anything with it. So a buddy of mine gave me some 240 grain 44 mag 44 special bullets that I sized down to 427. Now I slugged the bore on my rifle, and I repeatedly have gotten 426, which seems really tight, and when I tell people that, they don't believe me. But it might have to do with the fact that my rifle was originally a 3840 and it has been rebored. So probably has something to do with that. Now, I had a lot of folks tell me, some polite and some not so polite, that a 240 grain bullet wouldn't work well. The rate of twist in that rifle is not made to stabilize a heavier projectile like that. And, well, being the kind of inquisitive dude that I am, I just had to find out for myself. Now, I still haven't bought a mold or purchased any other 200 grain projectiles. I was talking to some other folks that are more versed in 4440 than I am, and it seems like if you're going to go with black powder, you need to use one of those big lube bullets, what they call the big lube bullets. And I just haven't made up my mind on what I'm going to do yet. But I did want to try these just to see. I actually tried them with some gallery loads, the 240 grain bullets, and they worked pretty well. Of course, you know, I'm not shooting at more than 10 or 15 yards. So I assembled some with black powder using 35 grains of 3F Swiss and a 240 grain projectile that I melt the smokeless lube off. And I've been using SPG lube, which has worked pretty well. Maybe I was more broke 20 years ago or something, but I remember buying it and thinking like, oh, this is expensive. I'll just make my own stuff. And my own stuff does work fine, but you could buy those bricks up there. I think they're $8 or $10 a piece, and they go a long way. So that's what I've been using, and it's been working pretty well. I also assembled some smokeless ones as well, and they are 5.5 grains of HP38 with the same 240 grain projectile, but it still has the smokeless lube on it, and both are sized down to 427. So here's how it went.
Okay, so this is 35 grains of 3F Swiss with a 240 grain bullet with a card wad in between the powder and the bullet.
Damn.
0. 1283. 1265. 1289. 1292.
Rock in the face of that fucker.
1264. Well, I'd say that's an improvement.
Mm-hmm. Still accurate, too.
Fucking A. All right, so this is 35 grains with the 240 grain bullet.
Time for a new stone.
I don't feel good about that last one.
I can't see.
Well, let's go look. I think I yanked that last one. View says to shoot 4-shot groups and throw out the worst one. So in this case, there it is right there. But I knew I yanked that last one. So that's 35 grains of 3F Swiss with a 240 grain lead round nose flat point at 35 yards offhand, which is why that is there. All right, what do you think? Our chronograph's going to work?
No, hell no.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. Okay, so this is 5.5 grains of HP 38 with a 240 grain bullet.
Oh, that's cute.
942. $9.53. $9.53 again. $9.45. $9.32.
It's pretty consistent.
Very.
Man, gotta love that.
That's like 950 is right where my smokeless 45 Colt is through a 24-inch barrel rifle.
Well, let's see how we did. The black powder round averaged 1,278 feet per second with a max spread of 28 and hits with 870 foot-pounds of energy. I know I say it hits with, and I always get corrected because at the target it's not going that fast, and so, yeah, you know what I mean. The smokeless round averaged 943 feet per second with a spread of 21 and has 474 foot-pounds of energy. Now, this is one of the things that I like about the original black powder cartridge. Typically, the original black powder round will have way more velocity and way more energy than a safe pressure smokeless load. And by the way, this safe pressure smokeless load is really at the top of the safe pressure scale. Spare me a lecture. So yeah, much faster by 300 feet per second, and the energy is almost doubled, which is big. Now, as for it being accurate, I showed you the paper there. Not exactly super scientific. I could bench rest it and all that stuff, and you get the idea. I think it illustrates the point. It's plenty accurate at a decent range. I did have some folks tell me in the comments that even if it is accurate out to 70 or 80 yards, it might start to widen up a bunch at a longer range. I did shoot it at 180 yards. I only had 4 or 5 rounds left, and they all hit consistently a little bit to the left, which even at 35 yards on the paper here, you can see it's a little bit over to the left. Now, I didn't move the sights at all. I still need to do some more testing with that particular round. But as far as it functioning, looking pretty promising, that definitely looks pretty decent to me. I did see a video Mike Bellevue did a while ago where he was using, I think, 35 grains of 3F Swiss and a 200 grain Big Lube bullet that I mentioned, and he's getting almost 1,400, or maybe he was getting 1,400 feet per second out of a 24-inch barrel 73 copy, which I think if you do the calculations on the energy, the 200 grain one might beat it out by a little bit, but, you know, either way, I don't really care what the energy or the velocity is if I can't hit anything. I know people accuse me of that all the time. They say, you don't care how it shoots. All you care about are the numbers. You know, who you think you are, Ron Spomer? Well, no, it doesn't do you any good if you can't hit what you're aiming at, regardless of how fast it is. So you can miss with the 1,200 and some odd feet per second round, but it's fast. Or you can hit with the 950 feet per second round, but it's just slower and it doesn't have as much energy. You catch my drift. So overall, definitely promising, definitely worth further development. At least it looks that way to me. Now, you heard me mention earlier that I've been using a card wad in between the powder and the bullet. I haven't done this much in the past, but I've been doing it lately. I read here, I'll show you. It's written by Mike Venturino and the SPG guy. I forget his name. It's on the book. And every one of his loads in this book, he mentions he has a card wad, just a thin card wad, between the powder and the bullet. Every one of them. And so I started doing that just to see if I noticed a difference. I've been doing it with 45 Colt, and I've been doing it with my 4440, just to see if there's a difference. And I haven't tested it side by side yet, but I'll do that. If you want to see that stuff, let me know. Other than that, I think that's about it. So as usual, folks, if you thought this video didn't suck, do me a favor and hit the like button and consider subscribing. And if you did think it sucked, well, then go make your own damn video.